Look, you see? You know what this is? You know what I want for us?
Look, you see? You know what this is? You know what I want for us?
There's someone else.
I'm not even kidding. This is not nostalgia bait, okay? Look at this.
இவன் இத பாரு இதையும் பார்
Who wouldn't want to see this on their shelves, on their tables, in their fridge? Okay. In this day and age, we hear a lot of corporate jargons like sustainability, environmentalism, inconvenience today for a better tomorrow, master stroke. You will own nothing and you will be happy, which is what I'm kind of talking about here in this video right now. As well as, what was that? The recent one that we just saw two people climb up the Empire State Building. What was their corporate jargon again? When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. That's the power of love. You want to see the power of love? Look at this. You see what's on this disc edition that you get for exchanging it? At not just CEX, but I'm sure like GameStop and most other shops are more than happy to exchange your discs for another game that which I doubt you can do on digital anyways. You see that? They added a nice touch to it. That's what this is all about. There's heart in this, okay? Trade in, save cash, get more offers that you don't get online because corporate greed has taken over. And you know what? Let me show you the reality right here. Look at it! Look at it!
Look at this! What is that? Look at it! Look at it!
So, where do we start? Oh, that's right. Here's a perfect place to begin. We go back to 13 years ago, where PlayStation themselves, their official YouTube channel, made this statement.
This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
That's all there is to it. Okay? It's like exchanging a book. But now,
This is how you share your games on PS6. You don't. Thanks.
so I guess you could say that GTA 6 is ultimately what lit the match. And, you know, since the fire has already been started, Sony just took it a step further and added fuel to it by declaring that all PlayStation 6 games from 2028, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if they're going to release their console by then. I wonder how many people will actually get the PS6 in their hands, considering how long it took for the PS5 to actually come to people. I mean, yeah, I'm sure lockdown times, it was all different back then. I'm sure by the time 6 comes out, who knows how the global scenario looks. There's no plans to even bring out a disc for GTA 6. It's going to be on the PS5, considering it's coming out on the November of this year. Everything is going to go digital. I assume the game itself is going to be like 200 GB worth of data in this game because they put 10 years of work into this. When Rockstar Support mentioned a physical copy, it was referring to the physical version the company has already announced. The one that comes with just a code in the box. So you know what they're going to do? You see this? They're going to give you this. There's not going to be any of this, okay? This is gone. When you buy GTA 6, you're going to get this, okay? I'm sure a handy playbook with some nice artwork is going to come with you, okay? That's not what I call the order, okay? That's what I call the New World Order. Sorry, I don't want to sound like one of those guys, okay? Don't come at me with that. Call me the 90s guy who was around the time to just watch this evolution unfold itself. We went from floppy disks, we listened to music on cassettes, we listened to we watched VHS, And fun fact, a little bit of story was when I used to stay in the States, we used to get, there used to be a library where we could go and borrow VHS tapes, take it home, watch it on our cassette player. And just, it used to be like just one movie, you know, there used to be Speed, there used to be Mission Impossible 1, all the old stuff, a bunch of Kurt Russell movies and whatnot. But yeah, that was what you could do. You could borrow, watch, return it. And for me, that was, I mean, technically it's not considered ownership. If you want, you could buy it. But you could also borrow it, use it, return it, have the freedom to do so much more. Now, I'm not saying like your modern Netflix, your streaming services, your Disney Plus and Amazon and so on doesn't offer you this feature. But there is a but coming here. Those don't compare to the ownership that you see here. You know why? There's that keyword that I keep bringing up, which is change. Modern corporations have fallen in this magical, lustful idea of the concept of change, okay? It has almost come to a really perverse obsession with change. Because yes, we need to keep upgrading ourselves. We need to make life easier. If you think about it, you know, qualitative wise, the VHS does not give you the concept, the quality that the DVD was, which is, I would say, fine. Okay, that's good change. And even now, your streaming services do provide what you want to watch at your fingertips. Each episode of a TV series is there whenever you want to watch it. As long as I'm happy, if I'm the one in control. I'm the one in charge of what I'm paying for with my hard-earned cash. Okay? The tricky part is when you don't own what you buy when it comes to streaming. Okay, what you pay for. Okay? Streaming services are a license. They don't belong to you. You can still purchase a game digitally. Okay, I'm talking about subscription services where things are constantly on rotation. Movies, as well as the PlayStation Plus games, get removed. They're only temporary. They're there for a particular amount of time. I personally would not consider that as ownership. I consider that as a deadline. Okay? Now, let me bring up an interesting example. I believe this was August of 2024, where the PS Plus, I don't know by what magic they had given the Yakuza series. You know me when it comes to the Yakuza series, okay? I'm a huge fan and I played a couple of the series. Not all of them, but you can see them in my channel. You can just go to the playlists. They got Yakuza 0, Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2, and even better, the remastered collection with Part 3, 4, and 5 remastered. I only got around to playing Part 3. I don't know why, but that was actually my least favorite of the series compared to all these bangers that they have here. By the time I finished Part 3, and you know how insanely long these games are. They have a huge amount of stories. Or if you want to put them on subscription and someone who's new to the series wants to play them all in one go, obviously, I would suggest they start with 0 and just go from Kiwami 1 and 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, just go all out. If you're insane enough, you can also probably watch all episodes of One Piece. Don't do it at all one stretch, folks. I wouldn't suggest that. Every next month, when the PlayStation game catalog is rotating some of its games, it kept Yakuza for, I think, like 2 months tops. Then, I'm sure, due to some licensing agreements, it got taken out. Which ultimately sucks, because I could only finish Yakuza 3 by the time it got taken out. And the only reason I was able to play the other games was because this, okay? Something I got from a friend. I didn't even have to buy it, to be honest. This, exchanged at CEX. Eventually, people are going to be like, oh man, why don't you just, buy the game? Buy it on digital. I mean, if I'm going to do that and just buy the game I want, what's the point of paying for the subscription service? if it's just gonna give me what I want and take it away anyways. And I just have to eventually spend a little more, and these games don't come cheap. So retailers here are taking a big hit from PlayStation's new decision. As if it's not enough that AI is taking people's jobs, you got corporations who are just striking down the middleman. Just, oh yeah, what's the other main keyword that we call it? Disrupt the market. Making God knows what life harder for the average dude trying to make a living. Which ultimately I don't see the point of doing this, because if this is like, oh, it's an environment friendly thing, it's sustainability, we don't want to make more CDs, everything's digital now. Like, okay, bro, but $1 billion in pre-order revenue within the first hour of availability on June 25, 2026, with unverified reports claiming 39 to 50 million units sold. And need I remind you, this is not a cheap game, okay? The standard edition costs $80, which is not the average price of your PlayStation 5 game. It's gonna be in demand. Everyone wants to fucking play this game, okay? Now here's an irony that I see from this. People buying GTA 6 from scalpers on eBay, despite being only a digital release. You could probably avoid this. I know physical discs also more prone to scalpers due to shortage of supply. I get that. That's one of my... I'm playing devil's advocate here, okay? Yes, physical discs can get hoarded and naturally be sold in the black market for who knows, God knows what price. I'm sure maybe they took this initiative to prevent that, but that's like a minor problem if people are smart about it. But here, this goes to show a digital-only release where you can get for the original price on a fucking pre-order. Why would people be selling this in black? This makes no sense. Why would you be paying more? You can get this for the original price online. People don't make sense to me. They never did. Straight out of the horse's mouth. Let me just pull this up for context. Physical disc production ending in January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. In response to shifting trends in consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. If you notice, they're not cutting off retailers directly, but think of it this way. How can a retailer run his shop if someone's gonna think like, hey, this is just an expense for me, a waste of time and money to just go out just to buy to the retailer, get the same digital copy format, probably a code for unlocking the game, which I can just do it at home for lesser cost. So I'm paying more than the game is worth, right? So you're not directly throwing the retailer under the bus. It's something a lot of these corporations do, and they just like to shove things under the rug and make it look like we don't notice. Okay? So as consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital physical game disc production, for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to Jan 2028 in disc format, except for GTA 6, which is a decision they made on their own. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical discs. The audience would disagree, my friend. Okay, go to Sony's official page right here on Insta. Look at this. Look at this. What are you talking about? Which audience? Do not speak for us. They designed a middle finger with the discs. That's very clever, actually. Oh, people would even go so far as to say boycott the PS6. I mean, this is more like a the corporations telling, hey, you have to adapt. I mean, we put you in a lockdown for like 2 to 3 years. You adapted to that, so learn to adapt to this. This is just our way of putting the blinders on a horse and steering you and telling you the direction that we want you to go. That's just how it's always been. My observation on life is there are two kinds of people. One that wants to control you, and the other one who just wants to be left the fuck alone. Okay? And the ones that want to control, the ones that want to be left alone, are upset that these people want to be left the fuck alone. And yeah, these are the ones, and naturally, if you don't leave them alone, they're going to resist. That's always been the two dichotomies of life that I've always noticed over time, over the years. This is a natural direction for SONy. Yeah. The transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play games today. What do you mean most of our community prefers? Whose preference are you talking about? People literally are disagreeing with you non-stop. Look at that. No disc, no buy. They've already started a campaign on Lawfey, and I hope Wolverine doesn't get hit with this. So this is actually very interesting. The audience is actually banding together in protest, and I have a feeling this might work because it worked when the audience bullied what they did for Sonic. If you've seen the early Sonic releases, Sonic looks like this weird, demented, twisted creature that looks horrible. Context. This is how a corporation makes decisions. This is absolute garbage. This looks like trash. And this is after people bullied them into giving them what we actually want. This looks so much better. This has life. I'm sure if you're into marketing, basic requirements is to understand your consumer. Don't you people do like market research before launching something? We remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans. And we thank you for your continued support. First of all, they don't support. And second, which fans? Who are you talking to? There's nobody here. SONy, who are you talking to? Now, let me bring up a really stupid example for something that happened on Netflix. Okay?
Yes! No!
Ooh la la!
Ooh la la! Ooh la la!
Ooh la la!
Ooh la la!
So, why I bring that up is, if you notice, there was an incident with Netflix where they censored that portion. Okay? Coming to the point of censorship, let me just read this portion right here. So, when he gets the sports almanac in the trash can, flips through the pages, the original version shows the cover of the Ooh La La with a model in a lingerie. The Netflix version skips that scene in the magazine. It was silly. I know it's like censorship, like, oh, it's a kid's movie. Let's cut that out. So, we don't want that. Okay, fine. It was stupid. It's not like the movie is going to change without it. But that's when I come to the concept of censorship. When you can cut out a scene from the digital version online, which is held somewhere in a server somewhere, naturally people in power, in control, that maybe the developers can just send you an update, okay, where they can just possibly cut out something that was probably protested against or found offensive, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 years later down the line. Okay, people might find some parts of GTA 6 offensive, and they might protest, and Rockstar might cave to those people rather than actually listening to your genuine fans who are playing the game. What if they cut something out? Okay, we're paying good money for this. You're telling me that you're going to listen to a bunch of lunatics who scream about everything, find this offensive, that offensive, and you're gonna send an update to GTA 6. Just picture this, okay? There's probably a very important scene that's probably even critical to the plot, but who knows, maybe it might turn a little people start to get real in their conversations, or maybe it's a little lewd here and there. But isn't that the whole point of storytelling? I'm sure people read a lot of offensive smut on their books. They have a whole library section for that shit. People go through that shit all the time. They're cool with it. So when people scream, "Oh, this is offensive," and corporations cave into that, it still blows my mind how they cave into those people, obey their demands, unless that's just manufactured outrage. But they don't listen to fans. They're not going to listen to this, okay? They only prefer the weirdos and all that stuff. So coming back to my point, yes, I know physical copies for the PlayStation 4 games still don't mean like, oh, they can still get updated regardless, okay? Physical games these days also don't mean 100% ownership, okay? They still will get updates, which is coming to the point of the DRM, which is what I heard from my friend, digital rights management, which means you can use the Blu-ray discs, but not as CDs. The minute you insert that into your PlayStation 4 or 5, it's still going to download it from like a database or a server. Basically like you downloading a digital version, but you still have the disc. Okay, this is one of the counter arguments I'm sure PlayStation is going to use based on their big decision that they have made. Despite these being Blu-ray discs, they can't hold over 100 gigabytes of data that are there in modern games. Modern games are huge, okay? The kind of graphics they put, the kind of gameplays, the kind of mechanisms used to fit for PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 on the disc, because games were tailored for those. They were compressed. They were, even when I studied a little bit of game design myself, I designed game assets. You have, vertex counts. You have to bring down the size of your characters, vertexes or your environment. You have to basically save and shapes where you could and compromise where you can so that it would still play on the physical disc. And all the older games did that magnificently. They've built over that history, and now based on like people's requirements, the upgrade, keep giving more and more, bigger, keep scaling higher. You cannot fit it on a disc anymore. Your disc now is a DRM token, which is inserted in the console to verify your ownership, and you play. I could say you can equal it to, yes, it's still like the same as purchasing it on the PlayStation Store and downloading it. People are ultimately worried about having their freedoms removed. What if one day you don't own your house, you don't own your car? Because even when it comes to vehicles, and I work for a magazine that we write about vehicles are also going in this same direction. Electric vehicles are going to the point where they are more software defined, okay? It means you can shut off an electric vehicle from a distance. This is true. Think about how dangerous that is. Suddenly, someone hacks your car and it turns off. You're stuck. You're stranded. You can't move the damn thing. That doesn't apply for your average gas-powered vehicle. And I don't know if that's the kind of future we are gearing towards, considering there's a more dystopian push in other countries. And that's a whole topic for another day. I don't want to get into that. But there's a little cool example that I wanted to show you guys about what that future looks like. Here you go. Oh yeah, vehicles are also autonomous, by the way, which means
It's zombie time.
It's zombie time. Yeah. Not only do you lose your ownership of owning the vehicle, you no longer have to drive the bloody thing on your own. Where's the fun in that? What's next? Autonomous video games? The game just plays itself and you watch? Yeah. There he is. So you know what defeats the ultimate power of censorship
Here they
and
come.
control? Family. You know, hopefully that it doesn't come to that dystopian element for our video games. Yeah, so ultimately, I don't want to sound like such a downer because it's not like gaming is disappearing for good. Like, you know, people are kind of freaking out and they are going, you know, way above the top. I don't blame them. I'm on your side. It sucks, I know, but I wish it was in our hands to control. So, I mean, see, there's still some good stuff coming on the catalog. There's still a positive way to look at all this. And what I would suggest is to make best use of discs, whatever you can until 2028. If there's a, you know, you can exchange your games at your local, you know, GameStop or whatever other game shops there are, your retailers. I'm sure they'll be kind enough to have offers like, you know, buy two, get one free, that kind of stuff. I used to buy games all the time like that. I used to have like, you know, a whole CD disc album of PlayStation 2 games that I own. Sadly, my PlayStation 2 doesn't work anymore, so now I'm just on the PS4 and PS5. And I would definitely give anything to go back to the time for like how PlayStation 2 was initially. That kind of fun was something else. And you know, we still have great games up and coming. We have Wolverine, Lawface looks good despite what most people say. I really look forward to this. GTA 6, yeah, naturally, by this November. But, you know, make best use of physical while you can. Hold on to your games, hold them tight. I bought a physical external disc attachment for my digital PS5. You know, because I got this at a good offer during Black Friday, and I can still play the PS4 games thanks to its backward compatibility. And I'm gonna make best use of it as I can while we still can, you know. Hold on to that stuff close. Hold on to it. Don't let it go, you know. And if I want to end on a good note here, I would say like most of these corporations, they say like, oh, change is good. We need change. We need to start a revolution. The industry is rapidly evolving. Maybe it is, but if it's good change something for the better, okay? If it's something that's going to improve upon what's already existing, sure, go ahead, change, and see how the response is. If something's going good, and you just want to change something for the sake of, you know, changing something, because I know like some people just like to do that shit for fun, like these corporations do. If you're gonna change it and make it worse, one answer. Son, just don't.
Son, just don't.
If the change is gonna make something better, go for it. Otherwise, if something's going good and going great, build upon that or leave it the fuck alone. Okay? That would be my ultimate takeaway from all this. But let's see what PlayStation 6 has in store for us, because I wonder how they can build upon the PS5. I wonder, are they going to go virtual? Are they going to be like that, what is that game, Sword Art Online? Or is it going to be like solo leveling? Which would be pretty dope. So, you know, maybe, I guess you don't have to plug a CD for that. It probably comes with like a helmet or something. But anyways, it was a good talk.